Good evening, one and all. Very happy to welcome you for this art semester 2023-2024. In this particular semester, I'm extremely happy to introduce a subject which you are going to take as a specialization in this art semester. The subject is Advanced Corporate Financial Management. This particular subject is a 3 credit paper which we are going to spend 45 hours to learn this particular subject. Why we want to learn this subject? What skill I'm going to acquire from this particular subject? How I can turn this theoretical concept into a skills? All those things we are going to discuss. Before that, once again, I welcome you all for this art semester 2023-2024. So we are slightly deep dive into the syllabus part of this particular subject, Advanced Corporate Financial Management. So as you all know, this is a 3 credit paper, 45 hours we are going to spend for this particular semester, and the specialization is going to handle by Professor Madhusudanan, Department of Management, Kastujayanti College. This particular subject is having a 5 different units as usual. The first unit starts with the introduction to the mergers and acquisitions. In this first chapter, we are going to talk about the basic concepts of mergers and acquisition, starting with the very well meaning of what is merger, what is acquisition, and is there any differences between merger and acquisition? Is both are same? Is there any other terminologies regarding this mergers and acquisitions? And what are all the different theories, different school of thoughts we are having in this particular regard? And how this mergers and acquisition is related with the industrial life cycle. In the previous semesters, we are very much aware of the product life cycle, industry life cycle as well. So how we are going to connect this industrial life cycle, even product life cycle, with the mergers and acquisitions. And all our mergers and acquisitions is not a successful mergers and acquisitions. Sometimes there may be a failure. So we want to learn a lesson from our failures. So the reasons for the failures of mergers and acquisitions. And yes, of course, the mergers happens only because of the synergical effects. The synergy is created through joining the hands with one people. So in this regard, what is mean by synergy? What are all the different types of synergies? And because of synergies, what are all the values are created through our mergers and acquisitions? And is there any strategical way to think for mergers and acquisitions? Yes, of course, we have a two popular method, which is called as a SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunities, and uh, the other matrix is what we call as a BCG matrix. So this is regard with unit 1. And the unit 2 starts with the mergers and acquisition processes, procedures, and the different stages. There is a very popular stage of acquisition, which is called as a 5-stage model. And at the time of mergers and acquisitions, it requires some kind of intelligence. That is what we call as a due diligence. What is mean by due diligence? Different types of due diligence, and what are all the processes of due diligences, and what are all the hidden challenges faced by this due diligence? Is it easy a process to go with this due diligence? Is a question. And if you want to have a successful merger, what are all the steps and what are all the tips to be followed? And after the merger is a very important stage, what we call as a post-integration process. So that is also we are going to talk about in this second unit. The third unit talks about acquisitions and takeovers. Slowly we are moving from mergers and acquisitions, mergers, acquisitions, takeovers, and different takeovers. And what are all the legal procedures are there in this takeovers? And which are all the acts we want to follow? And which are all the rules and regulations we want to abide with? All those things, even SEBI protocols, at the time of taking over. And sometimes there are some cases, friendly takeovers will also be happen. So what are all these kinds of actions we want to know before going for acquisitions or takeovers? We'll discuss in this chapter 3. And the chapter 4 talks about the reconstruction, corporate reconstruction, which talks about various strategies what we are going to use in this mergers and acquisitions, like a sell-off, spin-off, and demergers, ECO, equity carve-out, leveraged bailout, management buyout, and masters in limited partnership, MLP, limited liability partnerships, joint ventures. So at any cost, the objective of this particular mergers or acquisition is to create a synergy through which we want to create a value creations. So how possible way we can do this to create more values is this particular chapter is all about. The last chapter, we will end up with a valuation of securities, which is a numerical part as well, because we are going to talk about a different fixed income securities valuations and risk and return calculations, because anything which we want to create a synergy or which we want to create a value creations, it is very much important to know how much risk we have to take. By the same time, equity valuations, preference shares valuations, and all other fixed income valuations we are going to talk about in this particular chapter. By the same time, we are going to talk something about the reference materials, which is very much important for your future references. So it is mandatory to refer 2 or 3 books which would help you to give a clarity on mergers and acquisitions without having any doubt. So here I have listed some 8 of reference materials, which is high in quality content, which is high in case studies with the solutions, which would help you to bring a clarity on mergers and acquisitions. With a different topic, I'll catch you later. All the very best.